Ladies and gentlemen, there's a simple truth that shapes the quality of every single day of your life. It's not the storm outside that determines how far your ship will go. It's the captain at the wheel. Every one of us will face storms. There are no exceptions. Some storms will be loud, some silent. Some will be seen by the world, others known only in the quiet corners of our minds. But here's what separates those who grow from those who crumble: the ability to train the mind to be calm in every situation. Notice I said train, because calm is not something that falls from the sky. Calm is built. Calm is practiced. Calm is a decision made over and over again until it becomes second nature. Most people spend their lives trying to control everything and everyone around them. They chase the perfect day, the perfect conditions, the perfect moment to feel at peace. But life is not interested in perfection. Life is interested in growth, and growth is almost never comfortable. The greatest power you'll ever hold is the power to remain steady when the ground shakes. Think about that. When everyone else is running, when emotions are boiling, when things don't make sense, that's when calm becomes your secret weapon. Some people think calm means doing nothing. No, calm is not weakness. Calm is strength wrapped in stillness. Calm is clarity in the middle of noise. Calm is what allows you to make smart decisions while others are losing themselves to panic. But let's be honest, it's not easy to be calm when everything's on fire. It's not easy to smile when someone betrays you. It's not easy to breathe slowly when fear is screaming in your ears. That's why you must train. Because the mind left untrained is like a wild horse. It runs wherever it pleases. But a trained mind can cross mountains. Let's go back to the beginning. When you were a child, every feeling was a storm. One word from someone could make you cry. A single toy could make you the happiest person in the world. You lived at the mercy of whatever was happening around you. But as you grow, life starts teaching you lessons, some soft, some harsh. And one of the most valuable lessons is this: you can choose your response. When you start choosing your response instead of reacting to everything, that's when calm begins to grow roots in your soul. I've met people who've lost everything and yet walked through life with a quiet strength that humbled everyone around them. And I've met people who had everything but lived like prisoners of their emotions. The difference is not in their bank accounts or their status. The difference is in their inner training. Calm people aren't lucky. They're disciplined. They've learned to catch the wave of emotion before it crashes. They've learned to pause before they explode. They've learned to speak softly when the world speaks loudly. Now, why is this so important? Because your reaction shapes your future. You can't always control the event, but you can always control the meaning you give to it. And that meaning determines your next move. One calm breath can save a friendship. One calm word can prevent a war. One calm decision can change the direction of your life. Imagine you're in traffic. Someone cuts you off. You can yell, curse, let it ruin your day. Or you can smile, breathe, and move on. It's the same event, but your mind writes a different story. One story leads to anger. The other leads to peace. You hold the pen. Imagine you lose a job. You can spiral into despair or use that moment as the soil to plant something new. Calm allows you to hear the whisper of opportunity behind the noise of fear. Imagine someone insults you. You can let their words build a prison in your mind. Or you can see that their words say more about them than they ever could about you. Calm gives you the strength to not pick up the poison handed to you. Training your mind to be calm doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It means you won't let pain become your master. Let me tell you a little secret about life. Life listens to how you talk when things go wrong. When everything is smooth, everyone sounds wise. But it's in the storm that your voice tells the truth about what you've built inside. If your inner world is shaky, every problem will look bigger. But if your inner world is steady, even mountains will seem climbable. Think of a tree. When the wind comes, the weak tree breaks. The strong tree bends but does not fall. Why? Because its roots are deep. Calmness is your roots. When you develop it, you don't need perfect weather anymore. But how do you train calmness? Not by waiting for life to stop testing you. You train calmness by practicing it in small moments. Start with your mornings. Before you let the world rush in, give yourself a few quiet moments. No phone, no noise. Just you and your breath. Calmness grows in silence. Then move to daily challenges. When someone irritates you, instead of reacting, observe. Just for a second. That second is where power lies. Most people lose that second. But if you own it, you'll own yourself. Build habits that ground you. Read something inspiring. Take a walk. Speak slowly. Listen more. Don't let other people's chaos become your chaos. The world is full of people looking for a fight. Don't join them. Be the one who refuses to hand over control of their emotions. And let me tell you something powerful. Calmness isn't about pretending. It's not about faking a smile when you're breaking inside. It's about developing such strength inside that you can face any wave without losing yourself. You don't have to suppress your emotions. You just need to guide them. Feel anger, but don't let it drive. Feel fear, but don't let it lead. Feel sadness, but don't let it define you. When you build calmness, life stops controlling you. You start controlling life. Now, some of you might say, but you don't know what I've been through. My storms are different. And you may be right. I don't know your story, but I know these storms are not meant to destroy you. They're meant to shape you. Every storm comes with a gift wrapped in pain, and the people who stay calm long enough to unwrap it, they're the ones who grow. Remember, the loudest voice in the room is rarely the strongest. The calmest one usually is. When your mind is calm, you don't chase. You attract. You don't beg. You build. You don't fight every battle. You choose the right ones. When your mind is calm, your words carry weight. Your steps are steady. Your presence becomes a shelter to those around you. People trust calm energy because it feels like home. In this world, people are hungry for calm. They're tired of noise, tired of drama, tired of chaos. So when you master calmness, you don't just change your life. You become a lighthouse in someone else's storm. Now let's be clear. Calmness doesn't mean you'll never feel overwhelmed again. You will. But you'll recover faster. You'll bounce back stronger. You'll know where to find your center. Here's something I've learned: you don't rise to the level of your wishes. You fall to the level of your preparation. If you want to be calm in chaos, you must prepare in peace. Don't wait for the storm to practice your breathing. Build the muscle before you need it. When a pilot learns to fly, they don't train in sunny skies only. They train in turbulence. Because when the storm comes, there's no time to learn. There's only time to act. Train your mind the same way. Don't just talk about calm when life is easy. Practice it when it's hard. I remember a friend who lost everything. His business collapsed overnight. Everyone expected him to break. But he didn't. He took a deep breath, went for a walk, and came back with a calm mind. In that silence, ideas were born. Plans were drawn. And he rebuilt everything stronger. He told me something I'll never forget. Panic makes problems bigger. Calm makes problems smaller. The difference between people who drown in life's storms and those who sail through is not the size of the storm. It's the size of their calm. Here's a powerful truth: your emotions want to control you, but they don't have to. Every emotion is a wave, and like any wave, it rises, peaks, and falls. If you can just stay on the board and breathe, you'll ride it. If you panic, you'll sink. Next time something goes wrong, remember this: the event is not the end. Your reaction writes the next chapter. If you train your mind to be calm, you'll notice something incredible. Your decisions improve. Your energy lasts longer. Your relationships get stronger. You stop saying things you regret. You stop chasing things that don't matter. The calm mind sees what the noisy mind misses. When anger speaks, it exaggerates. When fear speaks, it lies. When calm speaks, it tells the truth. Calmness gives you space to listen. And when you truly listen, to yourself, to others, to life, you discover answers that panic would have hidden from you. I want you to imagine your mind as a glass of muddy water. If you keep shaking it, the water stays cloudy. But if you set it down, if you give it time to be still, the dirt settles and clarity returns. That's what calmness does for you. It clears your vision. When you build this kind of mental stillness, you won't need to react to everything. Some things you'll let pass, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know it's not worth your peace. You'll stop defending yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You'll stop rushing into fights that don't need to be fought. You'll stop explaining yourself to noise. Calm people don't explain. They demonstrate. Calmness gives you authority, not the kind that demands respect, but the kind that earns it silently. And here's the beautiful part: calmness is contagious. Just like panic spreads, so does peace. When you stay calm, the people around you feel safer. Your energy lifts the room. Your silence speaks louder than someone else's shouting. You may not always be able to control the room, but you can control the atmosphere you bring into it. The mind is a garden. If you plant panic, you'll harvest chaos. If you plant calm, you'll harvest clarity. And you can't plant weeds and expect roses to bloom. So be intentional about what you feed your mind. Be careful what you listen to, what you read, who you spend time with. Surround yourself with people who don't just add noise but bring stillness. Calmness is a choice you make again and again. When life throws a stone, you can either build a wall or a bridge. Calmness builds bridges. Every morning, you have two choices: start your day reacting or start your day leading. Calmness is leadership over yourself. And if you can lead yourself, you can lead anything. Now, some people think, if I'm calm, people will walk all over me. No, calm doesn't mean you let people disrespect you. Calm means you choose your response with strength, not weakness. Calm people don't avoid problems. They face them with clear eyes and steady hands. They don't raise their voice, they raise their standards. You see, the world rewards those who can stay composed when others lose control. Employers trust them. Families lean on them. Communities look up to them. Calm is a currency more valuable than gold, but it must be earned. Train your mind daily. Sit with yourself. Breathe deeply. Learn to observe your thoughts without obeying every single one. Not every thought deserves a reaction. Not every feeling deserves a stage. Let some thoughts pass like clouds. Don't build houses under storms meant to drift away. And when you do fall, because you will, we all do, don't be hard on yourself. Calmness isn't about being perfect. It's about returning to center faster each time. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you build a brick. One day, those bricks become a fortress, a place inside you that nothing and no one can shake. This world is loud. It will try to rush you, distract you, provoke you. But remember, you are the gatekeeper. No one walks into your mind without your permission. So guard your calm like a treasure. Protect it like your most valuable possession. Because it is. Calmness allows you to live, not just survive. To create, not just react. To lead, not just follow. And here's a promise: once you master calmness, life won't necessarily get easier, but you will get stronger. The waves won't stop, but you'll learn to surf them. The storms won't disappear, but you'll build a shelter inside you. People may call you lucky. They'll say you were born strong, but you'll know the truth. You trained for this. You chose this. You became the calm in the storm. So from this day on, stop waiting for the world to calm down. It won't. Calm down yourself. Train your mind like a warrior trains his body every day, every breath. When chaos knocks, let it find no panic inside you, only peace. When fear whispers, answer with silence. When storms rise, stand tall, not because you control the weather, but because you've mastered your sea. And one day, when someone asks you, how do you stay so calm when everything's falling apart? You'll smile and say, because I learned not to fall with it. Thank you. A calm mind is louder than chaos. It doesn't scream, it doesn't rush, it doesn't try to overpower the noise around it. It simply stands firm, and in that stillness, it speaks with a power that shouting can never match. When everything around you is moving fast, when people are losing their temper, when confusion fills the room, the person who stays calm holds the real power. The world doesn't listen to the loudest voice. It listens to the voice that doesn't need to prove itself. Chaos is everywhere. It's in traffic, it's in disagreements, it's in moments when plans collapse, when people disappoint you, when life throws problems at you without warning. Chaos is not just in the world outside, it's also inside your head. It's in the overthinking, the doubts, the fears, the frustrations. And most people think that to survive chaos, they need to match its energy, fight it with more noise, respond with more intensity. But that's not how you win. You win by standing still inside yourself. A calm mind doesn't mean silence because you're lost or weak. It means you are so rooted that nothing can easily pull you away from your center. Think about when people argue. Two people shouting, both trying to be heard. The louder they get, the less they actually listen. But if one of them stays calm, keeps their tone steady, their words begin to carry weight. Calmness has a gravity that pulls attention without demanding it. There's a unique kind of strength in someone who doesn't rush to react. While others are throwing their energy in every direction, a calm person conserves theirs. They don't need to prove their point through noise. They make their point through presence. That presence alone can quiet the room. When chaos comes, your first instinct might be to push back, to react immediately, to shout over it. But when you train your mind to be calm, you begin to realize something powerful: chaos feeds on reaction. The more you feed it, the louder it grows. The moment you stop reacting to every piece of noise, you weaken its grip. Your calm becomes a mirror that reflects the noise back, showing others their own lack of control. This isn't about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. Calmness isn't denial. It's clarity. It's being able to see what's actually happening without being swallowed by it. When your mind is calm, you notice details others miss. You hear what's between the lines. You can choose your response with precision instead of emotion. That's why calm minds make better decisions. Think about leaders, negotiators, or people who handle crisis. The ones who make the biggest impact aren't the ones who yell. They're the ones who walk into the storm and speak slowly. While everyone else is panicking, they bring order not through control, but through composure. People naturally follow calm energy because it feels like safety. A calm mind also speaks volumes without words. Even in silence, calm has presence. You've probably been in a room where someone walks in and everything seems to slow down. They don't have to say much. Their energy shifts the atmosphere. That's not magic. It's discipline. It's years of training their mind to not be dragged around by emotions. Chaos tries to convince you that speed is power. It wants you to rush, to panic, to make decisions you'll regret. But calmness understands that true power doesn't need to hurry. It waits. It observes. It strikes with accuracy, not noise. When you stay calm, you can control what chaos can't yourself. And when you control yourself, the outside loses its power to break you. In a world where everyone reacts, being calm is like being fluent in a language most people don't speak. People get drawn to you because you don't mirror their panic. You break the pattern. You don't join their storm. You become the quiet space they didn't know they needed. When things fall apart, loud emotions try to take over. Anger, fear, frustration, they all demand attention. But the calm mind doesn't give them the microphone. It listens, it observes, and then it decides what truly deserves a response. Not every emotion needs to be spoken. Not every situation needs to be fought. Some things lose their power the moment you refuse to engage. There's a reason people who stay calm are often mistaken for being in control. They may not have the power to change everything happening, but they have power over how they experience it. That alone shifts the entire energy of a situation. When you remain composed, chaos loses its aim. It can't touch what doesn't react. A calm mind also builds trust. When people see you don't lose yourself in panic, they start to trust your judgment. They come to you in uncertainty. They listen more carefully to your words because they know they're not driven by impulse. Calmness earns respect without asking for it. But make no mistake, calmness is not something that comes naturally to most. It's trained. You learn to breathe through the noise. You learn to wait one more second before reacting. You learn to listen when your emotions are trying to scream. Over time, your silence starts to speak louder than your impulses. That's when chaos realizes it can't shake you like it used to. Noise will always try to distract you. Chaos will always try to pull you in. But when you train your mind to be calm, you become unshakable. The world can spin as fast as it wants, and you can still stand steady. And in that stillness, your voice, your calm presence, becomes louder than the storm itself. The truth is, people rarely remember what you shouted in chaos, but they'll never forget how your calm made them feel safe. That's the kind of power that doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be steady. A calm mind is louder than chaos because it doesn't fight for attention. It earns it. It doesn't seek control. It embodies it. It doesn't chase power. It becomes power. ChatGPT said, "Don't let someone else's storm drown your calm." Not every storm around you belongs to you, and not every wave that hits you deserves to carry you away. Life will always be full of people who are fighting battles you can't see, carrying anger they never processed, and reacting to pain that didn't start with you. And if you're not careful, their storms can become your storms. It doesn't take much for someone else's chaos to sneak its way into your peace. One word, one mood, one action can be enough to pull you into a storm that isn't yours to fight. That's why protecting your calm isn't selfish. It's survival. When you allow someone's storm to consume your peace, you hand over your emotional power. Their frustration becomes your frustration. Their noise becomes your noise. Their reaction starts writing your story. And suddenly, your day is no longer yours. You're living in the shadow of someone else's emotional weather. But here's the truth. Just because someone else is drowning doesn't mean you have to jump in without a life jacket. You can care, you can help, but you don't have to lose yourself in the process. Calmness is a boundary. It's not a wall that shuts people out. It's a foundation that keeps you grounded no matter how hard the wind blows. If you let every storm around you dictate how you feel, you'll spend your life tossed around by things you never caused. You'll wake up fine, and by noon, you'll be carrying the weight of someone else's bad morning. You'll have plans, and they'll be swallowed by someone else's negativity. It's not that their feelings don't matter. They do. But your calm matters too. You can't control how other people show up. Some will come with storms of fear, anger, or bitterness. But what you can control is whether you let their storm enter your house. You can let them rage outside your door while you keep the inside of your mind steady. Just because they speak loudly doesn't mean you have to shout back. Just because they're losing themselves doesn't mean you have to lose yourself too. The moment you realize this, everything changes. There's a quiet kind of power in someone who refuses to be pulled into unnecessary storms. It's not arrogance. It's maturity. It's understanding that your peace is not a prize to be thrown into the middle of someone else's chaos. When you choose not to engage in every argument, when you choose to walk away from energy that drains you, you're not being cold. You're protecting the clarity you've built. Think of it like standing on a shoreline. The waves crash against the rocks, wild and loud. If you jump in every time, you'll exhaust yourself trying to fight a tide you didn't create. But if you stay on the shore, steady and grounded, the waves can roar, but they can't drown you. That's what it means to hold on to your calm when others are falling apart. People often think that absorbing someone else's storm means you care more, but that's not true. Empathy doesn't require you to lose yourself. It requires you to understand without becoming what you're trying to help. You can hold someone's hand without taking on their storm. You can listen to someone's pain without letting it rewrite your emotions. You can offer strength without giving away your own peace. The world is full of emotional invitations. Every argument, every angry outburst, every bitter comment is an invitation to join someone else's storm. You can accept or decline. You don't owe anyone your peace just because they've lost theirs. Declining that invitation doesn't make you heartless. It makes you wise. It means you've learned the difference between compassion and self-destruction. There are people who carry storms with them wherever they go. They live in a state of constant drama. They complain, they blame, they throw their energy around like thunder. If you keep letting that into your mind, you'll never know what stillness feels like. Not every emotion that's loud deserves your attention. Not every situation that's messy requires your reaction. Sometimes the best way to protect your calm is simply to step back. When you stay calm, you break the cycle. Anger wants company. Frustration wants fuel. Chaos wants another storm to grow. But calm starves it. When you don't match their energy, their storm loses momentum. It's like shouting into the wind and realizing the wind doesn't shout back. That silence is power. A calm mind doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you feel deeply, but choose wisely. It means you know when to speak and when to stay quiet. It means you can love people without becoming their emotional punching bag. It means you can care without collapsing. That kind of strength is rare because it takes practice. It takes learning to separate what's yours from what isn't. The world will test this boundary again and again. Someone will try to provoke you just to see if they can. Someone will project their pain onto you because it's easier than facing it themselves. Someone will bring their storm into your life because they don't know where else to put it. And in those moments, you must remember you have a choice. You can step into their storm, or you can stay anchored in your calm. This doesn't mean you'll never get caught off guard. Sometimes storms will hit you unexpectedly. Sometimes they'll come from people you love. But the more you train your mind to return to calm, the less power those storms will have over you. You'll learn to recognize the difference between what belongs to you and what doesn't. You'll learn that not every storm is yours to carry. Peace is not found in the absence of storms. It's found in learning to keep your own light steady no matter how dark someone else's sky gets. You don't have to match their thunder. You don't have to drown with them to prove your loyalty. You can stand firm, calm, and present. And in doing so, you often become the steady hand they need, not the extra storm they don't. Your calm is not a weakness. It's your shield. It's what allows you to move through life without being controlled by every gust of wind. And when people see that they can't pull you into their storms, something incredible happens. They either respect your calm or they drift away because they can't feed on your energy. Either way, you win. So when the noise rises, when the storms around you start to rage, Remind yourself gently that you are not required to carry every storm that passes by. You are allowed to keep your calm. You are allowed to breathe through someone else's thunder. You are allowed to let their storm exist without letting it define your state of mind. Train in peace so you can stand strong in the storm. That's the secret most people overlook. Everyone wants to be strong when life falls apart, but very few are willing to build that strength before the storm comes. Real calm isn't something you grab at the last second. It's something you've been practicing long before you need it. It's like a muscle. If you don't train it when things are easy, it won't be there when things are hard. Strength under pressure doesn't appear by accident. It's built quietly daily in moments no one is watching. When everything is peaceful, most people relax their guard. They let the mind drift, let discipline slip, and let little frustrations pile up. But those quiet seasons are not just rest periods, they're training grounds. That's when you learn how to breathe deeply, how to slow your reactions, how to respond instead of explode. Because when the storm hits, there won't be time to build these habits. You'll only have what you've prepared. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. When soldiers train, they don't wait for war to figure out how to fight. When athletes train, they don't wait for the championship to learn how to move. And yet so many people wait for life's chaos to figure out how to stay calm. That's why they panic. That's why they break. That's why emotions take control instead of them controlling emotions. Calmness is not a switch you flip. It's a skill you forge through quiet repetition. Training in peace means paying attention to how you handle small moments. It means noticing the tiny frustrations that show up in your day. The slow driver, the long line, the delayed message, the moment your plans don't go perfectly. Those are not just inconveniences. They are practice sessions. How you handle the small storms decides how you'll handle the big ones. If a delay in traffic can ruin your mood, how will you handle real loss? If a harsh word can break your focus, how will you handle betrayal? The person who trains in peace becomes unshakable in chaos. It's not because they're superhuman. It's because they've been here before in 100 small ways. Their calm is not new. It's familiar. It's the same breathing they practiced in quiet mornings. It's the same stillness they held on to when nothing major was happening. So when the storm comes, they don't need to scramble. They return to what they know. You can't expect to stay calm in a storm if your mind is constantly chaotic in peace. You can't expect to be composed in crisis if your emotions lead you during normal days. That's why training matters. It means choosing peace before life demands it from you. It means slowing down your reactions even when no one is testing you. It means learning to breathe before you feel like you're drowning. Every habit you build during peaceful times becomes your armor during hard times. Every small decision to stay calm, to speak softly, to observe rather than react, it's all preparation. Most people underestimate these moments because they seem too ordinary. But ordinary moments build extraordinary resilience. Training in peace is also about learning your triggers. When everything is calm, that's the perfect time to study yourself.